Prime. Now, for more on all the stories out there today, we're pleased to be joined by the executive advisor for the National Diversity Coalition for Trump, Juan Pablo Andrade. Juan Pablo is also a member of the Latino National Republican Coalition. He joins us via Skype from New York City, and from Newsmax, Washington, my old congressional colleague, Michael Patrick Flanagan, now president of Flanagan Consulting. Gentlemen, another billionaire who occasionally climbs into a shark tank. Mark Cuban appeared on CNN earlier today criticizing Donald Trump, saying there's just no transparency with the guy. Let's look and listen.
I get offered all the time these tax advantage opportunities, and I don't take them. Meaning, if you buy this insurance product, then you can offset your income, and because those things typically end up being disallowed. And so I don't do any of them. And, if Donald is taking tax shortcuts, maybe he bought an insurance policy as opposed to doing something in real estate, and, he took a huge tax write-off to offset income. We don't know. And that's the inherent problem. There's no transparency, and he is so ashamed of what he's done, he's not willing to speak up and explain to us what happened.
So, Juan Pablo, I hear this, and from Mark Cuban, to me it kind of seems to be a case of billionaire on billionaire jealousy. What say you?
I think Mr. Cuban is incredibly incorrect. He couldn't be more incorrect. Mr. Trump isn't, embarrassed or ashamed of anything that he's doing currently right now, especially with his taxes. It's been proven, with this incredible leak that, in my opinion, Mr. Trump personally, in my opinion, he should sue the New York Times for releasing it without his permission. But quite frankly, even proving that, it shows that there's nothing illegal about anything that's happening. And nothing outside of the law, despite the flashy headlines that, people might misconstrue and think that it is illegal what Mr. Trump is doing.
Michael Patrick Flanagan, Mr. Trump responded to the story in the New York Times by framing his argument in this fashion, quote, "I know our complex tax laws better than anyone who has ever run for president, and I am the only one who can fix them." And the hashtag failing New York Times. That the right kind of response, Mike?
I don't know if it's the right kind of response, but it's probably an accurate statement. And as Cuban, he didn't say that he wouldn't take the tax break because people should pay taxes. He didn't say he wouldn't take the tax break because he needs to pay more in taxes. He said he wouldn't take the tax break because it would be disallowed. I mean, give me a break. The guy's an idiot. Mr. Trump probably does know more about taxes than anybody alive because he's had to deal with it. He took $1 billion write-down 20 years ago and is paying it off over time. That's what the law says you do. And the fact that the guy could lose $1 billion 20 years ago and still be worth several billion today says more to me about the guy's ability to manage the economy and move it forward than anything else he could say. This is a very positive story for him among people who wanted to look at it accurately and fairly.
Juan Pablo, in addition to the New York Times attack on his taxes, there have been a lot of stories percolating this weekend how the Latino community is upset with Donald Trump. As a guy who used to represent the state of Arizona, I talk about the myth of the monolith, the notion that if you have a Hispanic surname, then you must be for open borders and Hillary Clinton. What are you finding in the Hispanic community, Juan Pablo?
Yes, obviously, as myself as a Latino, first one of my family born here in the United States, I could say that, yes, it's many people think that Latinos are, yes, for open borders. But in my opinion, in my, many years of working in both government and politics, I feel that many Latinos want not necessarily closed borders, but, stronger immigration laws, because those Latinos who come here legally want to work. Their jobs are also getting taken by Latinos that happen to be coming here illegally. So they want to be able to have the same opportunities coming here on a legal basis, the same opportunities as an American born here in the States.
A reminder to you watching wherever you are, we'd love to get your comments and questions at 1-877-NEWSMAX, 1-877-639-7629. Michael Patrick Flanagan, it looks as if Hillary had her Mitt moment. Reported. It turns out she was criticizing Bernie Sanders supporters in audio leaked from one of her hacked emails. Let's look and listen.
Some are new to politics completely. They're children of the Great Recession, and they are living in their parents' basement. if you're feeling that you're consigned to, being a barista or, some other job that doesn't pay a lot and doesn't have much of a ladder of opportunity attached to it, then the idea that maybe, just maybe, you could be part of a political revolution is pretty appealing.
So will that rank as her Met moment, and does it count, Michael P., if the networks assiduously avoid it as they have thus far?
I think she's incredible. I think she really dislikes huge swaths of the American public. She has regarded Republicans as her only enemy. She said that out loud. Half the nation, you're my enemy. She talks about the deplorables, a quarter of the nation, you're horrible people. Now, trying to sympathize with Bernie people, she says, you're a barista and you live in a basement and you have a sad life. Join me and I'll make it better. Does she aware that the Starbucks guy endorsed her? It's incredible. It's unbelievable how much she hates everybody. There's nobody on her happy list. The Secret Service broke their long-standing rule about never talking about the first family when they came out to talk about what an atrocious person she is. This is a woman who approved of putting military people in uniform as waiters in the White House. This woman likes nobody. And that's the story. She's a snarky, cranky old woman.
Let me offer
a
friendly amendment. She really loves herself, which apparently is a prerequisite.
Yes.
So that goes on there. Hey, let's go to the phones. Let's go to the phones at 1-877-Newsmax and speak with Raphael. Hi, Raphael.
Hello.
And you're calling us from where today, Raphael?
I'm calling from Fairbanks, Alaska.
Fairbanks, Alaska. Well, it's good to have you call the lower 49 here on America Talks Live. Your observation, please, sir.
Well, first, I'd like to say that all Americans, when we were talking about paying taxes, and all Americans will like not to pay any taxes or pay at least the least that they should. I don't know what is the hypocrisy in the media about this topic. But what my concern is more about the countries where all these immigrants are coming from, all their children are coming into America and leaving their native countries. And, to what? To make a bigger problem for the rest of the world?
Well, especially when it comes to the refugees. And Juan, Pablo, we haven't weighed in on this. Raphael, thanks for the call from Fairbanks, Alaska. But we just took a look at the breakdown of the thousands of refugees that Mr. Obama has, quote, welcomed into the country from Syria. The vast majority, some 12,000 thus far, are Muslim. 68, count them, 68 Christians, even with the widespread and widely reported Christian persecution. Your take on that, Juan Pablo?
Like I said before, immigration in this country is a huge problem, and especially, getting on that fact that President Obama's, in my opinion, unconstitutional refugee program, is outstanding and astonishing for this administration to be doing, but it's honestly not surprising. We need to have a stronger vetting system, especially if we're letting in all these refugees.
And vetting is very important, also enforcing current law. Michael Patrick Flanagan, the last word to you, well-versed as you are in the Chicago way, and Hillary, born and raised in the Chicago suburbs, meeting Saul Alinsky as a high school student. So what is her approach now in the final, we're less than 40 days? Will the dominant media culture continue to cheerlead for her, even though she's done many of the same things she's accusing Mr. Trump of? 30 seconds.
As you might find at my blog today at FlanaganConsulting.com, a shameless promotion for myself, I will say that she has a rock-solid 43%. 43 to 45, depending on what poll. It's unmovable. It's unchangeable. Never any lower, never any higher. When you say Rasmussen's up, Rasmussen's down, LA Times up, LA Times is down, that's movement by Mr. Trump, not by Hillary. And it's Trump's votes going back and forth to Johnson or to Trump or to undecided or back again. And as long as Trump can finish above 43, 45, he's going to win this election because she can't move an inch. In a two-way race, the votes go back and forth between the candidate. This is a four-way race, and it's not going back and forth between her and him. So she's in big trouble unless she can keep him underwater. And that his job is to rise above, be good, be smart, be fast, and be likable, and be vote-for-able. And that's what he's got to do in the next debate.
Vote-for-able. That's great. Listen, gents,
vote-for-able.
I want you to stay right there. Not deplorable, maybe vote-for-able. And just stay with us because we're going to have you back. We'll have your phone calls too at 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-639-7629. Up next, a prime preview. Stay with us.